Hey, Shalom. I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honors to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Kakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, salutation, and blessings to the elect who firmly believe in Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai. Now, the title of this lesson is going to be Haste Maketh Waste. Haste Maketh Waste. Right? Now, that pretty much means, the title of this lesson pretty much means, once you rush into a particular situation, as far as getting into a business venture, making a haste decision, but more importantly, we're going to focus upon this truth, because the times that we're approaching, is perilous times, it's bad times. And for the simple fact that we're approaching bad times, also known as Jacob's trouble, you don't want to make haste decisions. That goes contrary to what the Lord told us to do during these darkest hours, right? Because the scriptures always speak upon patience, patience, patience. Now, patience is a verb. Patience is something that has to be practiced. It's action. And we're going to need patience at an all-time high, as these darkest hours come forth, right? We're going to need patience in the times of these darkest hours coming forth, so with that being said, you don't want to make haste decisions, because essentially it's going to lead to you being wiped off of the face of the earth by way of an ICBM missile, right? If you rush into a relationship, it's only going to end up turning bad, because you may find out the particular partner that you was with, you're not compatible. If you rush into a certain business venture and then actually weigh out all options or what that particular business entails, you may find yourself creating too much overhead for yourself. You may find yourself exhausting your funds, or just not being well prepared for what the job particularly takes, and then what? Everything ends up wasteful, so haste maketh waste. So we got to understand that, patience is necessary in all walks of life, right? So let me start off with the book Ecclesiasticus chapter 2. I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble." That's right. The scriptures say, make not haste in time of trouble. That's what we got to not do. Not make haste in time of trouble, meaning what? Not to go far, not to make decisions based off of our emotions. Not to make haste based off of impulse, so to speak. Just because a particular moment doesn't feel good, just because a particular moment is uncomfortable, don't mean we succumb to the wiles of the devil. It says, "Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end." That's what we focused on. We focus upon being increased at our last end. So this is the gems that Yahweh Bashem Yahushua has given us, in order for knowledge and wisdom to be the stability of our time. We got to understand that the Lord's going to increase us. You may get kicked out your comfort zone, so to speak. When I say that, your houses, your apartments, your studios, whatever the case may be, right? Because the time is coming to where everything's going digital, and if you're not operating upon the digital-based society and receiving that charagma, which is that MOTB, guess what? Life is going to get very uncomfortable. But we have to keep in mind that the Lord is going to increase us. He's going to give us the faith and the spirit to be able to endure it. It says, verse 4, "Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state." That's what it's about, being patient. Patience meaning to what? Suffer. Right? And we're going to get into the necessary steps of patience, and how it essentially brings forth faith. Verse 5, "For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him." That's right. We got to trust in Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. We got to believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, that he won't forsake us. And we of the hopeful elect, we're going to have this confidence because we're doing what the Lord say to do to the best of our ability. When it involves teaching his work, preaching his work, rehearsing the righteous acts. It says, Salaki, it says, ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall. That's right. So, ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy. Because we are the only ones out here that's really fearing the Lord. You got people out here having that do as thou wilt spirit. You got these Christians out here having that do as thou wilt spirit, and they don't even know it. For the simple fact they got the misconception and the misperception of the Holy Scriptures, they have that do as thou wilt spirit. Because they feel as though that the law is done and away with. The Lord did not die on the cross for you to eat a pork sandwich. It says, ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy. Verse 10, look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? That's right. These are rhetorical questions. These are rhetorical questions that the Heavenly Father is asking. Never. All of those who put their trust in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, he delivered them. We can read Hebrews the 11th chapter, which indicates that. It backs up this particular precept. They all exemplify faith. Verse 11, for the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering, and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins and saveth in time of affliction. We about to be afflicted like never before. We are approaching a time to where we are going to be afflicted like never before. The times that's coming has never been recorded nor known to man. However, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is going to deliver us. The Lord is going to save us. Pursuing the was that Revelation 3 and 10? Let me grab that real quick before I grab this. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. That's right. So since we kept the word of the Heavenly Father, his patience, which is necessary to receive salvation, and your patience possess ye your souls. So it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. So the Lord is going to keep us from the hour of temptation. The Lord is going to keep us from the hour of temptation. What's the hour of temptation? The mark of the beast, man. That microchip being pushed upon the whole world. The Lord is going to put the spirit upon us not to take it. The Lord is going to provide us with the necessities so we don't have to take it. It says, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So those that are not in this faith, those who are not within this word, teaching this word, they're going to fall victim. If they're not taken by, martial law, if they're not taken by a famine, if they're not destroyed by a beast newly created, already, they're going to take that shit, man. They're going to take that corruption. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 25. It says, be not afraid of sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked when it cometh. That's right. So we're not to be afraid of sudden fear, because the things that are yet to come, like, brothers make this point in camp, martial law, they can bust in your door 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, man. We have the understanding that we live in a time to where they may be coming, but you don't know what particular day, a particular hour that they may be coming, so that fear may come all of a sudden, but the Lord is telling us, be not afraid of that, neither of the desolation of the wicked when it cometh, because all it's doing is alluding to the desolation of the wicked. When those situations happens, when Jacob's trouble is on the forefront, we are one step closer to our salvation. That's the mindset that we got to have to be able to endure all the way into the end. Those 7 brothers, in the book of Maccabees, to where the mother, compelled them and motivated them to take the death. They were able to take the death because they had understanding of reincarnation and that they would come back. And that those putting the affliction upon them, which were those Greeks, the Lord will place his vengeance upon them. Right? It says, for the Lord Yahweh shall be thy confidence and shall keep thy foot from being taken. And that's the faith that we have. That's the faith that we have that the Lord's not going to allow us to be taken by our enemies. You know, the Lord has delivered us from countless situations, countless perils, countless discomforts. You know, why would He stop now? You know, why would He stop at the end, right? This is the book of Luke, chapter 14, verse 28. It says, "For which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it?" That's right. So being in this faith, being in this truth, you know, we have to count the cost. You know, we have to weigh the avenues. You know, there's going to be ups and downs being in this faith, more so downs. You know, so we got to understand that this truth, being in this truth, is going to come with some heartache and pain. Being in this truth is going to come with some discomfort. Being in this truth, you know, our life is on the line. The scriptures speak upon, you know, there shall be some standing there which shall not taste of death. But the scriptures also say that you're going to die for the testimony of Yahweh Shah. You know, we don't know what our lots may be, but we have to count the cost that this truth comes with death. But essentially it's life. You know, to die in Yahweh Shah is gain. Right? So it says, let me read it again. "For which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it?" That's right. So it's about counting the cost. You know, seeing what you're able to handle, seeing what you're not capable of handling. You know, however, the Lord's gonna keep the spirit upon you. You know, the Lord's gonna keep the spirit upon us. You know, to overcome at the last. You know, you got brothers that have been in this truth 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, going on 40 years with the apostles. You know, that's a spirit that keeps brothers driving. You know, that's a spirit that keeps brothers driving. So you may not even know whether you have the sufficiency to finish a particular thing, but guess what? The Lord is going to keep you moving day by day. You know, but you got to have that faith that you have the sufficient amount of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to finish the work. It says, verse 29, it says, "Least happily, after he have laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him." That's right. You ever see a building halfway done? You know, you ever see a house halfway done? You know, we call those bandos. You know, you call those vacants. You know, and what ends up happening on houses and building as such, you know, you got squatters, you know, rats infested, you know, drugs, you know what I'm saying, shit like that, you know, and here it is, you start something, but you don't finish it, the people is going to begin to mock you, the people's going to begin to make fun of you, like, bro, you've been talking about building this house and the plans and the intentions you had to build this house, and here it is, you done laid the foundation, you done laid the sheetrock, you know, you done put the flooring down, but you ran out of money. You can't fix the windows, you know, you can't get the paint going, you know, the roof is still got a hole in it, ran out of money, people going to begin to mock you. So that's the same way within this truth. You know, we are that particular building that needs building up. You know, so if you don't endure it to the end, guess what? Joke's on you, man. Look, and that's why it don't make no sense for these people to fall out. Here it is, the feds didn't forget that you were in the truth. You still Fed listed, man. You know, and you still gonna get what do you call it? You still gonna get grabbed up. You think just because you're not out there on the highways and byways that these devils and it's not gonna hold that grudge, man? You know, Apostle Aram Live, he did the video, you know, the time we approaching, it's not gonna be cool to be an Israelite. You know, and he started tapping into that Greek history. You're going to have a lot of individuals denying Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, man. You know, we just got to have the faith and the hope that that's not us. You know, we got to have the faith and the hope that that's not us. You know, because guess what? The Lord said, if you deny me before man, he's going to deny you before the Father. It says, verse 30, saying this man began to build and was not able to finish. That's right. So, like the scriptures say, better is the end of a thing than the beginning. You know, it's about completing the work, completing the mission. What did the Apostle Paul say? You know, it is finished. You know, I believe Yahweh Shai said it the same thing. Let me see if I can grab Yahweh Shai's first. In Matthew the 26th chapter. This is the book of John, chapter 17. Let me start at verse 1. It says, "These words spake Yahushua, and lifted up his eyes to heaven, and said, Father, the hour is come, glorify thy Son, and thy Son also may glorify thee. As thou hast given him power over all flesh, that he should give eternal life to as many as thou hast given him. And this is life eternal, that they might know thee, the only true power, and Yahushua Mashiach, whom thou hast sent. I have glorified thee on the earth. I have finished the work which thou gavest me to do. And now, O Father, glorify thou me with thine own self, with the glory which I had with thee before the world was." So Yahushua spoke upon what? Finishing the work. That's what it's about. He went through all that torture. He went through all that pain. He went through all that discomfort. And he finished the work. There's another part that I want to see. Let's see. Why hast thou forsaken me? Matthew 27. Let me see. Let's see if it says it. This Matthew chapter 27. Let me start at 35. It says, "And they crucified him and parted his garments, casting lots, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet. They parted my garments among them, and upon my vesture did they cast lots." So they were pretty much disrespecting Yahushua, right? It says, "And sitting down, they washed him there, and set up over his head his accusation, written, This is Yahushua, the King of the Jews." So they over there being facetious and condescending, right? It says, "Then were there two thieves crucified with him, one on the right and the other on the left. And they that passed by reviled him, wagging their heads, and saying, Thou that destroyest the temple and buildest it in 3 days, save thyself. If thou be the Son of God, come down from the cross." So they starting to make mockery. So can you imagine this mockery being performed, and yet you bow down to a chip? Come on, man. Yahushua counted the cost. If anything, acts like this will give you more motivation, to take the death. And Yahushua said, "You don't take my life, I lay it down." Verse 41, "Likewise also the chief priests, mocking him with the scribes and elders, said, He saved others, himself he cannot save. If he be the King of Israel, let him now come down from the cross, and we will believe him. He trusted in Yahweh, he trusted in God, let him deliver him now, if he will have him. For he said, I am the Son of God." Right? So here it is, they trying to use his words against him. Here it is, they looking at him like he has no power. And Yahushua felt like he had no power. Right? It's going to get into it. It says, "The thieves also which were crucified with him cast the same in his teeth. Now from the 6th hour there was darkness over all the land unto the 9th hour. And about the 9th hour Yahushua cried with a loud voice, saying, Allah, Allah, lama sabachthani, that is to say, my power, why hast thou forsaken me?" So he felt like the Father, forsook him. He felt like the Father disassociated himself from him. Right? And it says, some of them that stood there, when they heard that, said, This man calleth for Elias. And straightway one of them ran and took a sponge and filled it with vinegar and put it on a reed and gave him to drink. The rest said, let us see whether Elias will come to save him. Yahushua, when he cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the spirit. And behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom, and the earth did quake, and the rocks rent. And the graves were opened, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose, and came out of the graves after his resurrection, and went into the holy city, and appeared unto many. So, Yahushua finished his work. Yahushua finished his work, even with the Apostle Paul. When the Apostle Paul was at the point to get beheaded, let me see, 1 Timothy 4:8. He had that mentality. He had that mentality. about the work being finished. 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 7. It says, let's start at verse 6. It says, "For I am now ready to be offered, and the time of my departure is at hand. I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day, and not to me only, but unto all them that love his appearing." You know? So he understood that there was a crown laid up for him. So that's the mindset we got to also have when we go through our hour of temptation. You know? The point of Jacob's trouble. You know? We got to have that mindset like, look, the Lord got us. You know? We're about to receive our reward. You know? If anything, this devil needs to be afraid, you know, because he's going into slavery for 1,000 years. You know? So, you know, that pretty much brings a conclusion to this lesson. You know, haste maketh waste. You know, so we don't want to make haste decisions. You know, we want to be calm in the spirit, you know, because that's the attitude our forefathers had. You know, Eleazar, Yahushua, Apostle Paul, you know, Apostle Peter. You know, the list goes on, man. You know, the 7 brothers, you know, even the mother and the Maccabees, man. You know, so, you know, and patience possess ye your souls. You know, that's something that we always got to keep in mind. You know, so Lord willing, this lesson was edifying unto the elect. You know, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honors to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Akakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, salutation, and blessings to the elect. Shalom.